guys, so today's video is going to be a prom makeup video, which is super exciting because prom is coming up, and even though it's kind of far, it's kind of soon, and therefore it's time to start planning it. This makeup is going to be pretty much aimed at those of you that have like colorful but very soft colors, so like lilac, nudish pinks, light but like colorful. So basically, like, your makeup should always be depending on what you're gonna wear on that day, like the dress. If it's a black dress, you can go all out and use whatever you want to use. If it's like a red dress, well, I wouldn't go and put, let's say, a yellow lipstick, which is like an extreme, but you guys kind of get my drift. So that's why I'm saying that this tutorial is gonna be more aimed at people with paler, like lighter shades of colored dresses, so not whites, not black. As usual, I'll be using my MAC Soft Ochre as a primer. It's a paint pot basically. And I use it as a primer because it's very close to my skin color. It blends in really well. So if you have more of a rosy tone, you should go with Painterly, if I'm correct. And if you're more yellow tone like I am, then you'd better be going with Soft Ochre to kind of blend it properly. And I'm also going to apply it on the lower rim of my eyes because I want to apply color after. Taking my MAC limited edition Mellow Moderns palette, I'm going to take the color in the highest left corner because it's a very nude, neutral kind of beigeish color. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply it all over my eyelid. Next, I'll be taking my MAC Pastel palette and I'm using the pink color and I'm going to foil it with my MAC Fix and Prime spray basically and just apply that pastel color on my lower lash line. Just kind of line it with the pastel color like you can see I'm doing right now. And basically, no matter the dress you're like going to be using, just go ahead and take the eyeshadow color that's closest to your dress. So here I'm using pink, but if you had a mint dress, then you would want to use mint. This is pretty much how it goes. Now I'm going to be taking my Mellow Moderns again, and this time the eyeshadow I'm using is this really grayish color. It's very neutral. It's like cold because pastels I feel are better with cold, and I'm applying it in the outer corner of my eye with the Precision Smudge Brush. So it's very pointy, but it's really dense. Like there's a lot of hair, so it's really good to apply and it's really good to smudge. Personally, I find the outer V to be tricky to do, so that's why I'm just kind of doing this little C shape in the outer corner over and over again, and I'm pretty much just trying to work from there and perfect it as much as I can because for those of you that aren't used to doing that, it can be actually a little bit hard. After defining the outer corner of my eyes using the same brush and whatever is left of eyeshadow, I'm just going to kind of push the grayish color inside my crease. So kind of push it towards the inside of my eyes, but right into a crease, not on my lid. Now I'm taking my pastel palette again just because I need a white eyeshadow. So I'm taking this Pearly that's in the left corner and the highest corner and applying it in my tear duct. It's kind of hard because that color really isn't that dense, so it ends up just adding kind of a little highlight and it's very subtle. Since this is prom, you really want to take your eyelash curler and curl those lashes to get the best curve ever, and also because it's the best prep to have a very dramatic mascara look. Now I'm going to take my Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer and a concealer brush to just apply concealer right where my dark circles are to give my eyes a more radiant, lighter look, but also because applying concealer after your eyeshadow look is done really helps you not only like get rid of any messiness you could have caused, like fallout and stuff like that, but also because I just find it helps you kind of define the area of the eyeshadow itself. So you have to be really careful because since we have a pink line on our lower lash line, you don't want to apply the concealer on top of it. The mascara I'll be using is Givenchy's Noir Couture mascara. It's not the 4-in-1 one, it's actually the Volume Extreme one. And you really want to be careful not to kind of smudge it or accidentally put it on your eyeshadow because this is prom, accident happens, but you really want to be careful. That's why I'm trying this technique because recently I've been trying to find the perfect technique to apply eyeshadow without putting it everywhere. And this is the closest I've come to getting it perfectly. Since this is prom, you could just go all out and have like lash extensions and fake lashes on, but personally I just really don't like those. Like they always bother me and I find them so annoying. Maybe it's because I never had them properly like installed or something, but I'm just not a fake lashes person. That's why I'd rather just put on as many coats of mascara as possible to get a super dramatic yet having my real lashes on. Now I'm going to take my Sephora Touche Lumiere Smoothing and Brightening Concealer. Again, a concealer, yes, I know, and apply it as a liquid highlighter, basically. So I'm just going to apply it on my cheekbones, on my cupid's bow, nose bridge, chin, and then I'm just going to blend the whole thing with my concealer brush because you don't want to have those really funny stripe look making you look really weird on your face. I would tend to say that the difference between this concealer and a normal highlighter such as Sunbeam or High Beam, which are both liquid highlighters by Benefit, is that this one actually has a little bit of coverage. So it not only puts in light on your skin, it also kind of like applies a little bit of lighter color. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say, but basically the Sunbeam option, for example, would have been transparent and just like glittery kind of thing, whereas this one really lightens up my skin to make it look more radiant, I find. So basically, this is the part where we're going to have a little talk, you guys and I basically, because prom is pretty much super exciting, but not everybody goes to a makeup artist. Pretty much like some of us have to do it on our own and are not that experienced with makeup. This is why I am not going to do any contouring for this prom look, just because for all of those who are really like risk averse types, like honestly I'm the like #1 person to be like, let's go all out, I'll do makeup, I'm gonna look like Kim Kardashian out there on like the red carpet at my prom and stuff. But then I end up like ruining it, getting late, getting stressed out, and just ruining everything and going with a very average makeup, because after everything was done I ruined my contouring, and fixing contouring can be really tricky. It's pretty much like take everything off and start over again. That's why I'm saying this. Like, I'm not gonna do any contouring in this video. I'm just gonna apply bronzer regularly. No cream contours, no nothing. Because once you ruin your face and you're already on a like low time budget, there's nothing to do. Anyways, this is, on the other hand, it's also like a very light color, like light colored makeup. So I wouldn't go with contour anyways. Like I would probably use contour more for like a smoky look. This is more like on the highlight look. But I'm still using bronzer because I really want to get this sun-kissed effect. Taking my Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer, I'm just going to go ahead and basically apply bronzing around my face, kind of like where you would apply contouring, but more like on my cheeks, and not trying to do this really sculpting effect, more just like trying to make sure that my skin looks very like bronzed. It adds a little bit of color. It makes me look like I just came out of the sun a little bit. The goal is not to apply too much bronzer and pretty much just apply it, like I said, like a contouring, but closer to the cheekbone and also more towards the inside of your face, because this is how you're going to get a very sun-kissed look, because usually when you go out in the sun, your like cheeks really look darker, but you don't want it like cheeks per se, but right under. Finally, I'm going to take a super light pink blush. I'm taking New Attitude by Nars with a very fluffy brush to just kind of lightly apply the powder brush right on my cheeks. I don't want it to be too intense because this is supposed to be a soft pastel look, so that's why I didn't take, for example, the blush Desire by Nars, which is like cotton candy pink, because it's way too dense and too pigmented, whereas the one which I'm using right now, which was limited edition back like a year ago for spring, is much more lighter when you apply it. So I guess one of the available colors by Nars I would use right now would be probably Roman Holiday blush. Finally, the highlighter I'm going to use is Candlelight Glow by Too Faced with a small little brush, which I'm just going to roll on the highlighter instead of doing as usual and just like applying it normally. I'm really going to roll the highlighter on top of where I applied my concealer previously, because I find this to really add a lot of glow, because it kind of just like pushes the powder on instead of diffusing it all over the place. And I'm going to do that everywhere I applied the liquid highlighter I had from before, except rolling in other places like the chin, for example, is harder. But for the cheeks especially, you really want to use that technique that I told you, which is rolling the highlighter on. For my eyebrows, I'm going to use Whiz and Brunette by Anastasia Beverly Hills, because this is just the go-to, I find. And pencils are really easy to fix if you do any mistakes. You can just smudge it off with your like finger and it goes away. And I'm basically just going to go ahead and align my eyebrows, fill them in. And that's really up to you if you want them to be like more intense, more subtle. Here I'm just going with a little bit more intense because everything in my face is so soft at this point that I want something to kind of a little bit pop. And also because brows are so in. Think about like Cara Delevingne, for example. And she's like a super old example, I know, but like even Kendall Jenner, like they all have very fierce eyebrows. So even if my makeup is super light, I'm trying to do them a little bit more intense, but not too much still. The final touch is a lipstick. I'm using Nars's Roman Holiday because it's a super light pink and it's not too intense. Right now it actually comes off a little bit more intense than it should because in person I find it to be very almost clear. Like it's not very pigmented, it's like very sheer. But overall it's the perfect shade of pink for any pastel color. So that's all for my first, for the season at least, prom video. And just a little chit chat. So right now I used a pink shadow, but if you have this palette or any palette with like a lot of pastel colors, pretty much you could have put any pastel color under your eye, like on your lower lash line. Could have been like teal, could have been mint, could have been a light blue, like I said, like I used a pink. It really doesn't matter. I would really go with something that like suits the dress. So if you have like a mint dress, then I would put the line under there mint. And basically the colors I chose are in such a way that they're kind of neutral and very cold for my eyes, I mean. So you could have used basically any other of the colors here pretty much, and it would still have fitted with the same other two colors I've used. Same goes for lips. It would have looked really pretty with mint. It would have looked pretty with blue. It would have looked pretty much with any pastel colors because Roman Holiday, even though it's a very pink lipstick, it's very light. It's not like super dense in coloring. You'll have to probably reapply a few times because it's not like a really intense pigment. It's like light. For some reason on this video it looks really like a hot pink, but it's not. It's like really more of a baby, almost transparent pink. That's why you can mix it up with any of those colors and it's gonna look amazing. And this is just also to show you guys that you don't need to have like the most intense, extravagant makeup look for prom. You can actually rock prom with a super light look like this, as long as like pretty much it's not, your face is just like a compliment to your dress, right? Because what's really gonna run the show is that gorgeous dress you'll be wearing, not your face. Your face just kind of goes with it. I'm not saying you could look like a monkey and still rock it obviously, but I'm just saying like this look is super subtle, but it's super bright and it's still like, it's just perfect for, I keep repeating myself, but just a pastel dress basically. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys liked the video and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and thank you for watching.